Former President Donald Trump is expected to turn himself in to authorities in Georgia today to answer to charges in his latest indictment. He's accused of being the head of a conspiracy involving 18 other people to overturn his election loss in Georgia. Let's look ahead a bit with David Levine, professor of UC Law, San Francisco. Thanks for being with us.
Anytime.
A lot of people are looking for the mugshot. That's kind of the big headline because it's unprecedented. Never seen a former U.S. president in a mugshot. Talk to me a little bit about the timing of today.
What we understand is that he's going to leave New Jersey sometime today, get down to Atlanta, and that he's supposed to turn himself in sometime around 7 o'clock Eastern. So if you're watching the 4, you'll be able to see it live. Okay. And that then he will be processed. And what the sheriff has said is that he intends to treat all of these people the way he would any other prisoners. So they'll get processed in certain ways. They'll be presumably fingerprinted, formally booked, and as we've seen with all the others, a mugshot will be taken and presumably will be released later in the evening.
What happens next after that whole, and I'll use the word circus because that is what it seems it will be given the build-up to it.
Right. Well, we're going to have quite a media scrum today.
No reporters inside the courthouse.
No, not inside, but outside. We saw even on the debate last night, there was a shot of the jail. So there'll be that kind of circus. We don't know if Mr. Trump will speak or not. Some of the others have spoken afterwards. And then the next formal thing that will happen, once the other people drift in the next 24 hours, because there's still more to come in, is that sometime after Labor Day, I think that we're going to see a series of formal arraignments where the people will come in before the judge and will formally be notified of the charges and will formally be asked, are they guilty or not guilty? Obviously, everybody will plead not guilty. But the schedule is right now, all of that should take place shortly after Labor Day. And those we should see televised. I don't think we're going to see anything inside today televised, except maybe getting that mugshot. But because of the way Georgia courts operate, and the judge has already given permission for the cameras to be there, so we should see those relatively brief periods where each person comes up formally and is notified of the charges.
Got it. So former President Trump was not on TV last night on the Republican debate stage. He was, however, on X, gave a long, wide-ranging interview to Tucker Carlson. During the talk, he said he is seeing a level of passion, a level of hatred among Americans right now that he says he hasn't seen before. I'm trying to square that with the fact that the jail right now, the Fulton County jail, is on hard lockdown. Was last night's interview a message to his followers? And what do you think that message was, particularly as we look to what's happening today?
Well, this is not the only time that he said something like that, Garcia. Every single time when he's about to be arraigned, he has essentially called for his people to come, and by and large, they have not. So
nothing January 6th-ish?
It doesn't look like that. Now, I don't know from reports this morning whether people are gathering down there in front of the Fulton jail, but with respect to the other times that he had to turn himself in, there were very few people. Now, one speculation for that is that the people who were ready to lie down their bodies for Mr. Trump are already in jail. The 1,000 or so who are being processed because of January 6th, and that they are not going to get involved, and other people may say, no, I'm not going to do that. So we may see some protesters down there, but frankly, I think we're going to see more media down there in Atlanta than we will Trump protesters. But every single time he's called for this, and frankly, he is skirting the lines that he has agreed to with all of the other cases, including the Georgia case, in terms of not intimidating witnesses, not trying to interfere with the jury. And he may find himself in trouble one of these days. Obviously, the judges are giving him a lot of wiggle room, but at some point, one of these judges is going to say, enough is enough.
Yeah, you've been walking a fine line, and now you've stepped over it.
Right.
Let's look ahead to 2024. We have to know he is leading in the polls by 40 percentage points right now. Will any of this hurt him when it comes down to the presidential election?
Again, you have to distinguish between the Republican primary, where the answer clearly has been, this is the best thing that ever happened.
Right. He's doing fine.
Right. He joked, give me one more indictment and I'm guaranteed to win.
Right.
And so far that seems to be good.
But against the assumed challenger, or, President Biden for a second term, what does that look like?
When we turn to the general election, it sure looks as if this doesn't help him. This doesn't help him to flip votes from last time. Mr. Biden won by many millions of votes and by many, many electoral votes. And it's hard to see that these antics are going to make people who maybe they were Trump voters the first time but said, no, we've seen enough, and they went for Biden. Are they really going to come back to Mr. Trump after seeing all of this. That's what he has to aim for. So short term, absolutely best thing that ever happened. He's going to be selling shirts with those mugshots tomorrow. But in terms of the general, when we're looking at this a year from now, I think it is going to be a different story.
Okay, I'm sure we'll talk to you many times before then. David Levine, thank you so much
Always
for
a
joining
pleasure.
us. All right, when we